All right. Here we go. Back at it. We are here. And we are working on the world's worst blog. I know, that's weird, right? That's what we're doing. Making a blogging site. Getting my chat set up here. Should really get a better setup for this. I just like to be able to see how things are going in my chat world. Okay, so get a web browser open over here. Did I close it earlier? Yeah. All right, so what are we working on? We have a blogging site, and we're getting close to having a real blogging site. Preview. All right, let's take this over to Chrome here. So we're building this blog. We've got a back end. We are, this morning, earlier today, we added in functionality. All right. So here's what it is. We added in functionality so that the first time you log in, it asks you what you want your display name to be. So GitHub blog site. Not functions, in the Firestore, in our database. I'm gonna delete my user data here. Let's delete them all. Delete document. Delete document. Delete document. So the very first time you log in, to the site, refresh here. When you log in, we'll log in. We can log in with Google, we can log in with GitHub, but the very first time you log in, it's gonna tell you, hey, you gotta enter a display name. Gotta put in something. I guess there's a few things that are weird. You can close this out. Technically, you're still logged in, but setting your display name. This is what will appear when you post a comment. All right, so when you post a comment, that's what will appear. I think we have some errors here because I had some issues with users missing from the database, I think. Yeah. So I corrupted the integrity of our comments. Go and delete this one here. All right, so that should be okay now. So now the display name gets tagged down here. So there's a couple things that we need to do. We had just discovered that we could do back-end authentication on without functions, like build-in rules for data integrity, which I didn't realize we could do, which is great. This is great. I was worried I'd have to do some kind of function that would make it, but we can do the following in our rules. We can add in functions. This is really cool. You can write functions. They're not, I don't know what they're. They do JavaScript-esque functions. I think this is technically JavaScript, but it's I don't know. It acts a lot like JavaScript. Not everything's there, but we have this regular expression. So validate user settings. So we have the user settings is user data, the user's unique ID, and then this section here. And I found out I can specify in our code here that The keys, you're only allowed to have a display name key, and the display name must match this regular expression. And that means you can only write if you're logged in, if you're valid user, and you meet this validation requirement. So you have to validate the settings that you're publishing. So you can't put anything there, which is great. So there's a couple things that we have to do here. We need, now that I have this information, it's great. We can do a lot of stuff. I need to make it so that there's a settings button I can change my username. So I'm going to make it so my display name also shows up here. And then I'm going to make it so if you click on that, you can change your display name. And I think I want to make it, I'm going to try and figure out how to make it so that you have unique display names. So two people can't have the same display name. Also, I'm realizing that when posting comments, I want to have a validation on the comment where you can only, when you post a comment, it has to essentially meet the criteria of this, that you have a comments field is the only thing that's allowed, and then the elements in that array have to meet this requirement of a body and a timestamp, and maybe even have this auto timestamp or something. I don't know if I can do an auto timestamp, but I would love that. Okay. All right, so let's try that. We need to add a settings button here. All right, so back up next to this logout button. Next to our logout button here, I want to add in a display name. All right, so we did a thing here before. I wrote in the code here, we have set display name, which loops through something with display name. I thought I made a custom document type. Get users data, set display name. Thought I did something like that. Yeah, document. No, I guess not. I want to, right here essentially is we're going to have the user's display name. Right here. So we'll put let's look at our bootstrap, but essentially I want to, if I did a p tag here, username, it's going to show up on it like that. What if I put it li username, refresh? Fascinating. It shows up above it like that. Class equals nav item. It's because I gotta add in this so it knows to go left and right, I think. No. All right, let's go look at the bootstrap documentation. Bootstrap nav bar. There's a newer version. Docs, components, nav bar. And my nav bar, do I have to put it as an A tag, an anchor tag? Let's try it. Let's see what happens if I make it an anchor tag. That's probably what's going on. No, still. Still slammed over there. That's interesting. Is it related to this style? This is fascinating. Nav item link. I don't like that at all. What is making it go up there? It seems to be this UL. For some reason, is really smashed over there. I don't understand that. It's okay. All right, let's try ME auto. And get rid of this. What? Navbar supported content. Do I need to just do class equals navbar? I don't know if that's... Is it because this is a button somehow? All right, let's go back here. Definitely want to leave the login. If I put 2 yeah, they're stacking. What the heck? I just copied this example here. What does that look like? I don't get it. I don't get... I don't get why they're stacking. I am... Navbar expanded. This is so bizarre to me. A trap. Container, nav brand, collapse. Only thing I can think is that this class here is important. For some, yeah, that. I don't want it to collapse is the thing. want it to always be there. Is that all I need is nav bar there? What? I don't know what I changed. I really don't. What did I even change? That was so weird. I don't even know that I changed anything. What the heck? All right. We are going to add this in here. And this is going to be the user's name, and it's going to be a link that if they click on brings up their settings. We're going to keep that log out button. But this is going to be the user's display name. Yeah. So ID is going to be user settings. And the idea here is when this page loads, user settings dot inner HTML is going to be the display name of our user. So it's going to be my display name there, or whoever's is logged in. For now, it's mine, Captain Coder. And then we're going to make it so that when you click on that, it's going to show the modal for changing the username. So down here, we're going to add in, after we load, user settings, dot click is going to be settings modal dot show. All right, let's give it a shot. So now I can change it. And after we update this, you know, if I changed it to the Captain Coder, I need to make this update. So on that actual update, set user's display name, this, after we've actually updated it, should we call set, I guess, I don't have a nice method for doing this. We need to do this thing here. And that would be, where are you? Here it is. So on success, we do it here. We're gonna set user data.display name equal to new display name. And then we update that there. All right, so let's try to change it now to Captain Coder. Sure enough, updates it there. And maybe we'll make it say, you know, welcome Captain Coder or something. Maybe even a little bit of space in there. The spacing feels a little cramped over there. Oh man, so this right there, it was fun. It says we shrink. Fascinating. That's what's making it get small. Okay, so I'm gonna make it. I really need these. I really want these things to be side by side. We're gonna ignore this for now, but that's definitely something that I want to fix. Welcome. Like that. Oh, that's so gross. Why is the width of that so tiny? Where is the width? Width. 100%. Oh, this. I change this? Why is that so terrible? Container, navbar, this div. I'm setting the width on this div to be so tiny. Width, 100%. Not really what I want. And then for some reason, God, that's hideous. Hideous. I'm gonna put, all right. Visible if logged in. I'm gonna put this whole thing in here like this, and this will be a span. All right, we're gonna clean this up. Let's see here. This is a container. I just don't know why this thing needs to be so squished over to the side. Hideous. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We got to figure this out on the styling. Is class doing anything? A little bit. That's div. What's this div doing? Nothing, it seems like. Div container, brand. Why is the width? Container, medium. It's inherited from that. Still don't understand why it's so tiny. And can I force these? If this span is display inline block. Yeah. What the heck, man? This is so weird to me. Yeah, this A tag for some reason wants to be inline block or block. I think it's this nav link thing. There we go. That's what I want. And then this span can have a class margin x2. Give it a little bit of space there. And not horrible, it's still bad. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, and if you click on it, pulls this up, which is what I want. What do we got here? Okay. All right, so we got that there. Welcome. Got our log out button. We can update our username here. If we add bad inputs, could not update display name. That's interesting that all right, in our JavaScript, our validate display name, and then ends, I think is what I might need to do here. There we go. Now I can validate that there. If it doesn't validate on the back end, it just gives us an error. So ideally our front end can support it, but if we do the captain coder, welcome. Okay, log out. Let's log in with someone new, which is just gonna be, oh, it merges them together. Hang on. Let's log in. Those have the same email address associated with them. Let's try logging in with this account here. Oh, this is, okay. That's really annoying. The display name happens to be whatever the last thing was that was on my page. All right, let's delete these users. Data. User data. Let's delete everyone. Once again. Actually wasn't associated with the same email address. Stop. Stop it. I gotta click in the right spot. Do this here. Okay. So if I log in, the first login, or when I auth, set display name. Let's see, on auth, set display name. We say that if we go to look in the user data and there isn't one, if it exists, we just pull everything out. If it doesn't exist, we actually don't want to set the doc here. We want to have this modal show up in this way. And this is automatically set in. Okay, so we actually want to set these values. Like this. Display name is equal to nothing. And nothing. And we could potentially, yeah, we'll go with the user data.display name and then it'll show up there. So this is going to be display name user data, because it should. The user gets set there. Okay. So the first time you log in, it should be whatever your provider does. All right, so it's like Billy Bob. This is the provider. It's going to tell me I can't do that, so I got to do Billy Bob like that. Okay. And now if I log in with a different user, it should come in like this. One thing I need to do is when this modal closes, if we haven't actually selected a display name, maybe I should get rid of this X here. But if we haven't selected a display name, I need to make it so it doesn't actually close. So if the display name's not valid, it needs to stop us. So the very, very first time. So let's look at what that does. Enter a display name. So it might just be that we could get rid of this, or we're gonna call a function something like that. So ID equals user settings close. All right. We're not gonna have it dismiss our modal. Let's see what happens with that. It doesn't dismiss the modal, but we need to make it so that when you click it, it will try to close that modal. So in this case, document.get element by ID. I'm gonna add an event listener on click. We are going to call the set user's display name. Refresh here. Well, that's. Oh, here we go. I need to do this. All right, tell us, oh, you can't close that until you've set a display name like that. So in this case, Captain Coder. If I close that, it's happy to do it. Okay, so we can only actually close that if we enter a proper name. Okay. All right. Git status, git commit -m work in progress. Add username or display name to navbar with settings menu attached. Okay, so we've got that in there now. Yeah, I'm pretty. Although something looks like it's gone wrong, console. Okay, this works now. All right, so we have all of the comments here. I want to actually make it so when you click, the spacing on this just needs to be better down at the bottom. We need to have some extra space a little bit, but I want to make it so you don't see this box until you click leave a comment. Then it'll open up a box for you to leave a comment or open up a modal. I think I want to make it open up another modal for you to post a comment. I'm a modal maniac. Someone tell me not to use modals. All right, so we're gonna create a modal like this, and this is gonna be our comment modal. And leave a comment. And we're gonna have our text box, and then we can have some information. We can say like, hey, you can post This is where we can tell them you can use Markdown without like links will be disabled. So limited Markdown, because we don't want people to post scripts and stuff in like a link. So we got to be a little bit, we got to force them not to do that. So in our modal body, we'll still the comment box. So in this case, does someone want show login? Yeah. That's interesting. I'll have to look at what that looks like. Post comment, instead of having it here, it's going to be leave a comment. And this is actually going to trigger our modal to open. All right. And then we'll put a little thing here that says something like comments, Markdown, leave a comment, the comments support Markdown for a limited support limited Markdown styling. Okay, and let's have it so when we click that, it'll open it up. And then we'll have a button here. So we'll add a button at the bottom. Post comment. This one won't be a submit. We'll just have this be a thing that we attach. We'll have this be ID equals. And so we don't have to change too much code. We'll make it so that it is comment section, post comment section. We're going to change it to comment button. This will be show comment modal button. And down here we are going to, this should not be login modal, this should be comment modal. Comment modal. Like this. So when you click that comment button, it'll actually post the comment. And we'll have it do some stuff with this comment box. But for now, we need to make it so that when we click this button, it shows this modal. So something like this becomes comment modal.show, and we have to add in a comments modal like this. Oh, I don't like my style. Sometimes using double quotes, sometimes using single quotes. I hate that about JavaScript and Python. I think PHP has that too. All right. Okay. Let's look here. I got it. To be slightly distracted here for a second. Okay. Show comment modal button. Comment modal, I need to add that as a variable up here. Undefined. Did a lot of code there, so hopefully this is still okay. So I'm gonna leave a comment. And sadness. All right. Uncaught error line 318. This is getting too long. Definitely gonna looking forward to refactoring this. Yes, this should be that. Refresh. Leave a comment. Illegal invocation. Show comment modal button is wrong, so this should actually be comment modal. Like that. And let's try again. Leave a comment. Comments support limited markdown styling. So we'll be able to post a comment in here. Test. All right, so the post comment function got to get changed a little bit. So we get the validate the comment body. This goes through, and on our success, we want to close this modal comment modal.hide. We add the comment. Hide the modal. We need to clear out this box. Also on this, okay, we do disable the button as soon as we click it, which is good. Add comment, hide our modal, and the text area, comment box, comment box dot value gets cleared out. All right, how'd we do? Leave a comment. Here is a test comment. Aha! Okay, the button gets disabled again, so we can't leave comment. In addition to showing that I want to make it so that when it gets displayed, so I'm going to show comment modal. I'm going to add a little method, a function, show modal comment. Function show comment modal. In addition to making this show, we're going to enable that button that just got disabled. Ooh, this is getting. This code is a little bit rough. All right, and this will be disabled equals false. So we can, not that we really want to be posting multiple comments, but leave a comment. Show comment modal. Show comment modal. Add event listener. Show comment modal. Comment modal dot show. Interesting. What's our error here? There's some scoping issue. Button is not defined. Line 304. Oh, well, yeah, of course, button's not defined. Button needs to be this. There we go. Leave a comment. Yet another test comment. Post. Leave a comment. All right, so you can do multiple things in there. Supports markdown styling. I like it. One thing. All right. I'm liking it. One thing I wanted to do, git status, git add, git commit, -m, from progress, clean up. What did I clean up? Clean up posting comment flow. All right, it's feeling less terrible to me. Certainly not the most beautiful site still, but less terrible. Leave in the comment sites. I want there to be some extra space down at the bottom. So at the bottom, if I'm logged out, what does this look like? Log in to comment, which pulls this up, which then does that. Then we have leave a comment. And I guess most sites have like a footer on them. And so I think a footer is what would make this, would essentially clean this up. Leave a comment. It's pretty wide. I'm okay with that. Leave a comment. No. There it is. Let's make this login to comment, and we'll make it so that on click we're going to show login. On click equals show login. Okay, log out, log into comment. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Oh, the ID. There we go. Let's try again. There we go. Not a bad flow. Not a bad flow at all. One thing I want to try and make sure is reasonable is alright, so if a user doesn't exist, then we can't, or if they haven't set their display name, they can't do that. And when they come to the page, it's going to force them to set one. So do captain coder. Then our comment section, we're actually getting an error when the display name's not there. So I want to fix that. That needs to have sort of some error handling. So line 95 of my script, line 95. We'll do if comment.displayName. We're gonna say if it doesn't do that, we're gonna continue. So if it doesn't have the display name, we're gonna ignore it. And then also if this comment doesn't have a display name or users comment also needs a UID. Comment.uid or users at comment.uid. So if any of these things don't exist, we shouldn't get an error. Okay, we didn't get the error, so captain coder. What did it do though? Undefined. So what we want it to do is instead of undefined, we're gonna say like deleted. It's gonna say user account deleted. So when we go to add a comment, we're gonna say display name. So if comment.display name exists, then we'll do comment.display name. Otherwise, we'll do deleted account. That just signifies that the user was deleted, removed from the database. Deleted account. All right. Slightly fascinated by that. I feel like it should actually be. All right, which user? This user exists, 2SN. That's not right. Shouldn't say deleted account there. So if comment.displayName so something's wrong with this. Everyone's display name is just undefined. Oh, that's I think all we want. Yeah. So the error I had there was I'm setting the display name here, and I had said if the display name is not set, skip it. Whereas really what I want is the comment doesn't have a UID. Excuse me. Or we couldn't find a UID. So if the users lookup array, so we have this map that goes from users from a UID to an actual username. If that doesn't contain comments.uid, then it's gonna fail. It's gonna continue, so just don't do it. And so then the display name would be deleted account. Okay, so now if I were to delete this user, let me log out. I'll refresh here. Still have Captain Coder as the user, but if this user were to be deleted, all right, so let's delete this user's settings. Then it just says deleted account. The second the user comes back in, we gotta give them display name, Joseph C. If I refresh the page, it reassociates it. So we'll change this to Captain. That's an interesting little bug I have there. Not bug, but side effect. On the click here, I want this to do nothing. JavaScript void. Like that. So I noticed that it scrolled all the way back up to the top when I did that. All right. All right, I keep talking about adding space beneath this, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little padding to that now. Class margin bottom 5. Oh, that didn't. Oh, there it is. All right, so now we got a little bit of space there. Yeah, I like it. I like it. One thing I just noticed is my images are giant. All right, let's commit. Git commit -m work in progress. Add error handling for comments without UID. Okay. I wanted to make it so that sorry, I'm slightly distracted. Okay. I wanted to make it so that when we commit our comments, when we send our comments to the database, they have to be in a specific format. So right now, a user can just write anything they want into this comments thing, but I need to add, I want to add in a function that's validate comment. So function validate user comments, and this will be based off their data. And for now, function, it's going to return a bool. So this is a predicate, return true. That's what we can do for now. And this is just telling us that we haven't done anything with it. So when we go to comment, this has to be true. The user has to match there, but validate user comment. We're going to take in data like this. And so this is going to be the actual comment value. And the comment needs to match this. It basically has to have a single key comments. And then that has to have, I got to figure out how the map will work on that, but that can only have values that have a body and timestamp in them. And I'm going to put a limit on the size that the body can be, I think. So I don't want people uploading crazy things, or nothing too crazy. Should be text. I guess I should limit it to something like 5,000 characters. I'm not sure, but so in my rules, let me do this. Okay. So let's build a minor test here. And the test we want to get is essentially creating this. This is the resource I want. Creating, so we're going to create this, and I'm going to basically try and make something that says not comment. All right, so if it tries to be something that's not comment, so first off, it should tell me null value provided to call. Oh, this needs to be request resource data. Error simulation line null value error. Oh, it's just saying that there was nothing there, so it fails because I did not actually send anything. They expected me to pass in something, or I did. I'm authenticated. All right. So it doesn't work if I'm not authenticated. If I'm authenticated with the correct user ID, unknown error occurred. User comments with an S. There we go. All right. So right now it's letting me write it. If I was, all right. So if I wasn't authenticated, it wouldn't let me write it. If I'm authenticated, right now it lets me write it because I allow anything through, but really I gotta say data.keys that has only comments, so I don't let anything else through. So I can only do it if it has a comments, missing an opening square bracket. Unknown. Request dot resource dot data. Data dot keys has capital O. Okay. Fails there because it has something that's not just comments. So now If I do comments, I specifically though want it to be just an array. So I want to try a thing here where if I try and set it to anything that's not an array, then it should also fail. So now it's going to pass, but I need to do a thing here that says the type of it. And I don't know how to do that. So we're going to go look at the documentation for Firestore rules. Firestore rules docs. And security and validate. Data validation. Specifically though, I want to make sure the type. Yeah. The type of that field. So Firestore rules check type of field. Check if it's a field isn't a counter. Okay. So we should be able to do, based on what I'm seeing here, we can use an is. All right, so it has only comments and data.comments is array. Well, let me do that. It's the error here. I'm gonna try and run this. An unsupported type, bool, bytes, constraint, duration, float, list. All right, so it has to be a list. All right, so it has to be a list. Simulated write failed. Because it's not a list. Okay, so now it's interesting that you use list on that one. All right, so comments. And now I need to sort of say like that all of the elements of this thing happen to be a map. Happen to be a map from one thing. So it can't be an array of, there can't be anything in it that is is not. All right, so not correct. So right now if I run this, it should be okay, but it's not correct. So I need to make sure that all of the elements of comments, so I'm not quite sure how to do that. Can I do a for loop in here? I want to loop through all of them. So I'm going to do a thing that says if, I put if, I'm really curious. If this is not true, return false. Otherwise, return true. Let's see if it'll let me do this for now. Dismiss this. If, unexpected if. Okay, so maybe I can't do ifs and I gotta do all right, so Firestore rules check type of all elements in list. In my Firestore, I want to have a rule that checks if all elements of a list are of type string. There's currently no function that checks the types of all the elements of an array. Since there's also no way to iterate an array, the only thing you can do now is predict the size of the array and check each element individually. For example, array is string, an array 1 is string, and so on. The Firebase team is aware. All right, when was this? 2019. Well, it'll help escalate. Let's see if they ever added this. Oh, well, they just wanted us to add it in there. If you want to check if something is an array, use list. You might also want to review my video about security role types. All right, so it's a little bit annoyed that we can't do that. Or at least doesn't seem like we can. Validating arrays using Firestore rules. See if there's anything newer. Array type field shows up as a list. You can use it has to determine if the list contains only certain elements. All right, so I guess for now, oh, bumping my microphone. Sorry about that. My eye, I got something in it. I might have to stop here to take care of that. So the validation is limited. Validation is limited. Which is too bad. But I can validate that it only has a thing called comments and it has to be a list. And I think I'll be okay with that for now. Thing is, does my... I wonder if I can check the size. Or could I restructure my comments in a way? Might just make sense to restructure my comments now that I can do things like validating a field. I could probably validate that a field has to have their ID in it. Not 100% sure though. Yeah. It's okay. That's okay. I'm relatively satisfied with this right now. So my rule says that they can only do it has to have a comments and it has to be a list. It's a little disappointing that I can't say that the first, I guess I could say that the first element has to be a thing. Sort of with the idea of that you can't leave. If I could restrict the number of comments you could leave. So to do this, I might, in a better way, I probably would want to use functions. But I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna leave it here. So we have commenting. I'm really quite happy with this. Yeah. Did I make any changes? I don't think I made any changes. It's all on the back end. Okay, so our rules, semi-happy with it. Not as happy as I want to be. I want to do better validation, but there's no way to iterate over it. Which kind of makes sense. You don't want to have all kinds of loops and stuff in there. They don't want it to have an infinite loop, is what I'm assuming. So they've constructed it in such a way that it is very easy to be deterministic. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that for now. I might just have to rethink how I'm storing comments to be smarter about it. Because I've already, if you've watched the previous stuff, the comments are stored in kind of a silly way. To make sure that only users posts. Yeah. I guess we could do a thing where we add in documents. Yeah, I think what I could do is I could make comments be the following. When you make a comment, it generates a new document, and that document has to have an ID in it. So it'd be sort of like an auto-generated ID here. And then you have two fields, or you have multiple fields. The first one's gonna be UID. And that one, I can force that, I believe, to match exactly the user's ID. And then it'll have the like body and timestamp. That's what I should do. So that's gonna require just like a bigger refactor here, but that's what I should do. So I think that's what I will do next time. I'm gonna stop for now. My eye, I got something in my eye. Gotta go rinse it out or take care of it. But I hope you got something on this. I'm excited. We're getting really close. I essentially just have to add like an index page and a way to browse through all of the articles. And then I think I'm done. I think I'm done at that point. All right. Have a wonderful day. Have a beautiful day. Come back anytime. See you.